All right, so this is a review for that test you're going to be taking Thursday after you do some of this map test stuff. So pretty much you got map tests and you got this one to finish off the year. First off, for those of you who are not listening, you want to make sure you copy everything or get a 0. All right, so while you're going through this, I understand you might be doing whatever you're doing on it. Just make sure you're copying everything. Make sure you're trying to listen. Again, this test can save a lot of you from failing. So just make sure that you do what you have to do to get this thing done. Anyway, when you see the question about the slope of the line, remember that slope of the line is rise over run. And with that, that's your first point is usually somewhere around there. From there, use your common sense. If it's 1 over 2, that means you're going to rise 1 and go over 2, and there's no way you're going to rise 1 and go over 2. So just eliminate the ones that don't make sense. Negative 1/2 means down 1 and over 2, and notice as you go down 1 and over 2, you're right here on the line, which means it has to be B. It can't be 2 because, again, 2 would be up 2 over 1, and it can't be negative 2 because, again, both of those would be fractions. That would be down 2 over 1, which puts you here. So that's a bad spot. That's a bad spot, and this is a bad spot. That is the only spot down 1 over 2 that makes sense. So make sure, again, that you're ready for that. Also, don't forget, and you might want to type this in because this is an easy enough question to do once you set it up. Remember that in this one, it's this number minus that, and then it's this number minus that. So it's 20 minus 10 over -1 minus -6, which is everything. Once you set that up, again, you can actually take your calculator and just type in what you see. So you can hit the N over D button, and you could do 20 minus 10 over, don't forget the negative button is the one right here. So again, -1 minus -6, sorry. 20 minus 10 over -1 minus -6. And again, you can literally just type it in. This matches that. Hit enter. Get your answer, which is 2, and that's all. All right. So again, just remember in that part that you take those 2 points, transfer them over. It's this minus that over this minus that, and that is all. You want the equation through the 0.59 with a slope of 4. Remember when you see the phrase write the equation, that means you're doing y equals mx plus b. Remember that y is this number, so that would be 9. M is that number, so that would be -4. X is that number, so you're looking at 5 plus b. And once you substitute all that stuff in, everything else is as it needs to be. 9 therefore equals -20 plus b. Add 20 to both sides to solve it. 29 is equal to b, and remember you're using m and b to put both of those things back together. I'm sorry, you can't see that. But you're using M and B to put that back together. So once you add your 20, you end up with 29. These two numbers, M and B, is what goes here and here. And that is how you answer that question. So again, just make sure, again, that you're trying to bring this back to memory. This is the test, or not the test, but it's questions from the test that you need to make sure you're ready for. Don't forget that this is substitution. Once you have your y equals, we're just going to take this and put it here. So it turns into x plus 3 equals 2x. From there, you move the smaller x by subtracting it. Don't forget that's 1x, so that goes away. 3 comes down. 2x minus x is 1x, and therefore you end up with x equals 3. You then take that 3 and plug it back in. So if x equals 3, you then do y equals 2 times 3, which means that y is 6. And so your answer is 3, 6. And that's all there is to it. All right. Number 5. Popcorn and candy. Bags of popcorn for $2. Boxes of candy sell for $3. And one day the shop sold 35 items and made $125. Don't forget the phrase money, money, and money. And so you end up with 4P for popcorn plus 3C for candy equals the money that you made, which is 125. And then don't forget that this means that you're talking about popcorn and candy adds up to 35. Again, just getting that information as you need to. Number 6, if you've been working with us on the factoring, then you should be good. Remember, find the sum just means you're putting them together. So 9x squared and negative 11x squared. Again, notice these two signs are different. That means you subtract 11 minus 9 is 2. The 11 is bigger, so it'll be a negative 2x squared. Or you could just type in 9 minus 11, which also gives you your negative 2. You then take your negative 4 and put it together with positive 6. Again, these two things are different, so you subtract. 6 minus 4 is 2. 6 is bigger, so it's positive, and attach the label. Remember not to change the label because you're just combining like terms. Or again, you could put negative 4 plus 6, which also gives you that number. And then take your 8, put it together with your 2 to get plus 10, and that should do it. So again, find the sum just pretty much means you're adding them up. That's not multiplication. That's not the one where everything meets. That's just put your like terms together. Number 7, remember that this is distributive property. This is the number that's meeting both. So negative 5 meets 8 to become negative 40. Then negative 5 meets negative 4g to become positive 20g. All right. Factoring. The first thing you want to do when you factor is find the GCF, and remember that the GCF is found by taking 25 and 35 if you have to and putting them into a fraction, and then doing 25 divided by 5, which obviously is 5, so 5 is the biggest number I can take off. Also, you're looking at your x's. You have 7 x's over here, 5 x's over there, so the most I can take off is 5. If you remember, you take the lowest one. From there, you open your parentheses and create a distributive property out of it. So this should end up looking like a distributive property problem, where you now say 25 divided by 5 would be 5. I had 7 x's. I took 5 off. I need 2 more to match it. Copy your plus. 35 divided by 5 is 7. I had 5 x's. I took them all off, and that would be my answer. So again, just making sure you're careful about how you do that stuff so you're ready to go. Do not forget on number 9 that you need to take these numbers. This is one big multiplication. This is not distributive. This is one big multiplication where 7 times 5 multiplies to be 35, where you have 5 m's and 3 m's, which make 8 m's, and then you have 2 n's after that to piece everything together and get it done. All right. On number 10, product means you're multiplying. This means you're doing distributive property. This is one where x meets x to become x squared. This is the one where x meets 2 to become plus 2x. Where 8 meets x to become plus 8x. And where 8 meets 2 to become plus 16. And in the end, you got to put your like terms together, 8x and 2x, which then makes 10x and 16. Remember that this is elimination. And in elimination, you've got to make everything match. You want the value of x. Well, the easiest thing to do would be to eliminate y. If you're good enough to do that, that's great. If not, just follow me along here. But again, just follow me along here anyway. Remember, you want to go ahead and multiply this by 2 to make your x's match. This now turns into 2x minus 2y equals 4. Again, I just take that 2 times all three things, copy the 2x plus 3y equals 14. From there, remember, you just switch the bottom row. This goes away. Negative 2 minus 3, as we should know, is negative 5. But if you don't know that, there you go. 4 minus 14, as we should know, is negative 10. But again, if you don't know that, just type it in. Then you divide both sides by -5, getting y is equal to 2. But that's not what we're looking for. So now you take this y, plug it back up there where you had x minus y equals 2, changing your y into a 2. Therefore, adding it to both sides, getting the answer of x equals 4. This is the answer you're looking for. They want the value of x. That is the value of x. So, again, that's what you're looking at. That's what you're trying to get done there. Don't forget that if you have a system of graphs that are graphed, that you're looking for the spot where these two lines actually meet. And the spot where those two lines meet is here. We don't even need that. That's unimportant because, again, if the graphs are there, you've got this. And don't forget that when you're talking about an ordered pair, it's over first, down second. And so you went over 3, 1, 2, 3, and down 1. And because you went down 1, you have your -1. If you look carefully, that says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That says -1, -2, and so on. That's positive ones. That's all the negatives. But again, 3, -1, not 1, -3. It's over first because that's your x. And that's your y. It's over 3, down 1 for that point. Try not to forget that because, again, that is actually important for you to see. 3x plus 5, 3x minus 5. 3x times 3x is 9 with 2 x's. 3x times -5 is minus 15 with 1x. 5 times 3x is positive 15 with 1x. And then 5 times -5 is -25. But pay attention to the fact that you have a -15x and a positive 15x, which both cancel out, giving us just 9x squared minus 25. And that is all. All right. (6m plus 42). So you're looking at 6. Again, factor means take off. It means you're creating a GCF. So you're creating a GCF, which means you're looking at 6 and 42. So again, if you want to do that, 6 over 42 turns into this. 6 divided by 1 is 6, which means the biggest number you can take off of this is 6. I cannot take an m off because 42 does not have an m on it, so leave that there. Again, 6 divided by 6 is gone. You have m or 1m depending on how you want to do it. Copy your plus. 42 divided by 6 is 7. And there you go. And again, if you check that, 6 times m is 6m. 6 times 7 is 42. And that is everything. All right. Number 15. Don't forget this distributes to everything. And so therefore you end up with x to the 18th over y to the 12th. Remember that that floating number means multiply, distribute. So 3 times 6 is 18, 3 times 4 is 12, and that's all you have to do there. Don't forget on number 16 that the first thing you have to do is just literally take this y equals mx plus b, because it says write the equation again, just like this problem did. Hold on, let me find the paper. Number 3 said write the equation, so we started with y equals mx plus b. This one here also says write the equation, so we start with y equals mx plus b. The difference is that is your m, this is your b, so it's just y equals negative 8.3x minus 2.7. Direct substitution. This is the easiest problem probably on the test, as long as you can remember how to do it. So just keep that in mind. Number 17, keep in mind you're doing multiplication, so it's 7 times 3 times 2, which is 42. And then also keep in mind that 0 x's means those x's aren't even there, and all you have left over is 5 x's as you do that. And then number 18, don't forget that this is distributive property, but that 8x does nothing. You're then going to take that negative 3 times 6, which is negative 18. You're then going to take that negative 3 times 4x, which is negative 12x. And then you have to put your like terms together. 8 minus 12, if you don't know what that is, which is negative 4x, and then minus 18 is where you end up. Again, make sure that everything was copied. Go ahead and hand this into the sub so you can go ahead and get your points, and then work on the next piece of work that we have for you to make sure everything gets done. Outside of that, have a good day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Don't forget to bring your computers tomorrow. We are doing map testing tomorrow, so make sure you bring your computers, make sure they're charged, and make sure you've got everything you need. Outside of that, have a good day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. I will be back.